Okay, let's continue episode 611. And we're still doing the penny wrappers from the most recent bank run that I did. And they've been a lot of copper in them. And yep, see that this is what I'm talking about when I speak about forensics with penny roll hunting and getting a little bit of an understanding about the person who brought these into the bank, right? And again, I know I'm beating a dead horse here, but soon enough, that's going to be it, right? Getting pennies from the bank is going to be over. And the ability to forensically determine, oh, I wish that was a V there. It's a little dot where the V is supposed to be. The ability to forensically determine anything about the previous owner will be over, right? Because the chance of, I mean, if you're going to buy, you'll have to buy online after that, right? After 2025, at some point in 2026, it could be from day one, first copper penny. It could be 6 months later. It could be 11 months later. But at some point in 2026, the ability to go to the bank and say, let me get some customer wrap penny rolls will be at an end. So, oh, look at that D. I haven't found a repunch mint mark in so long. I mean, we're talking about months on top of months. Oh, what a beauty, man. Oh, it has a little piece of dirt on it. I'm gonna see if I could use my shirt to take it off. Yeah, I think it came off with a very easy flick. Oh, we have a nice repunch mint mark. Wow. Haven't found one of these in so long. I'm talking about maybe 6 months or 7 months. Let me see if I can take a picture of that. That's nice. A nice repunch mint mark. You can see the first punch right there. Just for your own information, 1989 was the last year that they repunched mint marks. Here goes another 81. So some of you might be saying, what do you mean by forensically determining um, any information about the person who brought them in? And I'll explain what I mean by that. Some of you already know what I mean by that. Others of you, especially if you're new to penny roll hunting, um, you have no idea what I mean by that. And 2017p, that's good. And let me explain what I mean. So people get their pennies, right, from many various avenues, right? Grocery store, the bank, um, and then those pennies end up somewhere, right? Uh, you could Most people just reuse them, right? Well, I don't know who's carrying pennies in their pocket anymore. Probably no one's carrying pennies anymore in their pocket, or very few people. So the chance of that is, yeah, right. Two punch mint marks in one roll. I haven't found any in like 6 months. That is not a repunch mint mark. That is a what appears to be a damaged corner that created shelving. But the funny thing is there's also shelving on the 9. Anywhere else? In the Liberty and in the Motto. So there's shelving on the whole front. So it must have the die must have slipped, moved ever so slightly, and caused some shelving. You can see it in the G and God in the D, and then of course see it in the E and the B. So, not double die, not a repunch mint mark. It is a copper penny. It was a nice 1972. And why does it matter where the pennies came from? Well, it adds to the intrigue. Here's the third 2023. It'd be nice if one of these had the extra V on it. It adds to the intrigue of the penny roll hunting, right? So some penny wrappers will have writing on them, right? If they have a check mark, the person's initials, then there's a good chance that they're searched, right? Because the person, when they go to the bank, they don't want to get they don't want to research through, which makes a ton of sense, right? They don't want to research through their penny rolls that they brought to the bank already. So they'll put a check mark on it, or they'll put their initials on it, and it lets other people know also that they search through the penny roll. Okay. Now, a lot of those people will put the copper pennies back in, so they're worth going through. But at least already. Here's our fourth, 2023. At least already in advance that the person went through it, right? So that's forensics. You know that the person who had that penny roll prior to you was a penny roll hunter, right? So that's a huge piece of information. Another 2023. Oh yeah, right. Nah, that's not a V. That's just scratches on the bottom, maybe from polishing or something. No, not the extra V also. Huh. And for example, if this penny roll had a check on it, I would not expect to find any extra 2023 Bs, right? And it would make a lot of sense. So even though we're probably not going to find any anyway, but more than likely, if there was one, if the person did have one, then that they took it out already. Like most people, especially penny roll hunters, know to look for the extra V in the 2023. They should know to look for the wide AMs and the close AMs. If there's any serious die clashes, they're probably going to catch that, even if they're a novice. number 5. And some of them, like me, are even going to take out the copper. So if it becomes a real, like, let's say you have 100 penny rolls, right? You got $50 in penny rolls, and you got 10 of them that are have check marks on them, because you can't go to them and say, let me get your customer wrap penny rolls, and then say, yeah, but not the ones with the check. You can't say that. You're gonna piss them off. You're giving them orders and directions now, and they're not gonna like that. Okay, that's copper penny number 7. So you just have to say, let me get your customer wrap penny rolls, and they can give you whatever they got, and that's that. So in the example I'm using with the person who previously searched, if you got 50 penny rolls and 10 of them are checked, like me, I might have thousands of penny rolls, right, waiting to be searched through. I'm not going to search through the ones with the checks and the initials, right? Because first, I'm not going to check through them first, unless I want to. What's what I'm looking for? I want to judge. I know there's a better word for it. I want to judge the person, rate. I want to rate him, or her. The person who penny roll hunt. I said, oh, let me see, what they're about. Did they leave any copper in? Did they leave did they miss anything? And that can be kind of fun to do that. But most people aren't looking to do that. You're looking to penny roll hunt unsearched penny rolls. So that's one thing, one serious thing to notice about penny wrappers. The other is the type of penny wrapper, right? The type of penny wrapper tells you, there's the ones that when you go to your bank, they're gonna have penny wrappers on the counter. So there's a good chance that most of the penny wrappers you're going to get from that bank are from people who took the penny wrappers from the counter. But now all of a sudden you see penny wrappers in there. So here goes an example of one that has something on it, right? The person has their phone number on it. Now, people had to put their phone numbers on it years and years ago. And then now they don't, because what happened was, if you shortchanged the bank like 20 years ago and you gave them 49 pennies, they would deduct that penny from your bank account. Now they don't even do that. They don't care. It's like a rounding error. They don't care about it. But this tells me that either the person hasn't brought their pennies back to the bank in so long that they put their phone number on it. And then when they got to the bank, they said, oh, you don't have to do that. And then they crossed it out. So there's a good chance. I want to know there's a good chance that the pennies in here are super duper old, or have a lot more copper, and then a lot more copper. More copper means that there's the more copper pennies you find, the higher the chances are of finding an error copper penny. Most penny roll hunters are into copper pennies over zinc cents, right? For many reasons, which I'm not going to go into now. You probably know them already. Copper penny number 8. 8? No. Yes, 8. Copper penny, no. 2000D. No white AM. So the penny wrapper is also going to tell you something about the person who had it. That someone who wrote their number, the only person who's going to remember that you had to write your number on a penny wrapper is somebody who's older. I'm 50, going to be 54 soon, and I don't even remember that. So you're talking about someone probably in their 60s or 70s, who did that, and who also has not been to the bank in quite some time. 82, right? So it'll give you an expectation, some sort of expectation of what you might hope to find inside that penny roll. So again, oh, that's a nice die clash. You see that? And you can see the head where they polished it. How about the other side? Any die clash on the other side? No, I don't think so. It's just on the reverse. Oh, that's pretty cool. We are up to 9 copper pennies so far. If we get number 10, and here goes number 10. Copper penny number 10. And we're going to find a few more. So look at this, another 80, copper 82. So this is a lot of copper. So it really does lend, evaluate. That's the word I was looking for, evaluate. You can evaluate. If you want to search through someone else's search penny rolls, you can evaluate their penny roll tendencies, and their knowledge, right? First of all, if someone misses a wide AM or a die clash or a 2023 V, and they have a check or their initials on it, it tells me um, they're super inexperienced, right? They don't, not that they don't know what they do. They're just inexperienced. They're at a certain point in their penny roll hunting where they don't know what to look for. They haven't been watching my channel, so they are not learning about some of the more common errors that you really want to find. That's penny copper penny number 9, 10, 11, 12. We might have a couple more, or one more at least, which would be 13, which is my lucky number. 2023, our last 2023, and it's gone. All right, that's a South Park reference. That's got to be one of the most funniest cartoons I ever saw, where Kyle, not Kyle, is it Kyle? Yeah, Kyle goes to bring his money into the bank, and they say, "Oh yeah, with interest and fees, your money's gone." So he brings whatever he's bringing into the bank, and the bank person who's opening him account says, "Okay, $100 and the fees, inflation, and it's gone." How true that! If you've never seen that, even you could just YouTube that one excerpt. It's hilarious. I would do it, but I know I would get a copyright strike. All right, and here's number 13, baby. Misaligned die, 1978. And it's gone. That's got to be the most funny South Park. So you want to pay attention to the rapper. And so the last thing I wanted to say about it is, now let's say you get a lot of penny rappers that are not from your bank, and they're all and they're all the same. They're all the same type of penny wrapper, and they might even be unusual ones. There's a very high likelihood that on the day you went there, and maybe you go to your bank every month or something like that, so you might have even seen them before. There's a high likelihood that those specific penny wrappers on that specific day are from a specific person, right? So for example, what I've been on the I've been doing these, right? This is the third or fourth one I've done from the day that I went. And these are not from the bank, right? They say Harrisburg. I'm in Pennsylvania. So and they have a lot of copper in them. So when I did the first one, and there was like 13, 14 copper pennies in it, right? For a couple episodes before, I was like, oh wow. And then every one and look, we got 13 copper pennies today. So it's the same amount of copper, just about, in each one. That is a statistical anomaly, right? Well, it's a statistical it's a statistical fact that this is all from the same person, right? They had there's 12 or 13 copper pen, and there's an equal um, amount of copper dispersed throughout their probably piggy bank. And 13 copper pennies, you double that, that's 26%. So one out of every four of their pennies is copper. So chances are they were collecting these pennies 10, 20 years ago, right? Because now if you go to the store, and you're probably going to get maybe one out of every 10 pennies will be copper if you're lucky, right? So one out of four is 4 times the amount. So years ago, there was more copper in circulation than there is today in 2025. All right. So anyway, these are the little things that make penny roll hunting interesting. Obviously, in a few more months, within the next year, there's going to be you're not going to be able to do this anymore, unless someone like me who has, like, I have the bags from the day that I went to the bank. So when I go into that bag, I can still relive that experience 10 years from now and be like, oh, look at all these similar penny rolls from that day I went to the bank, and they'll be in that bag, and I could relive that experience. Most people will not be able to do that. 99.999% of people won't be able to do that. You're going to be ordering them online, your penny rolls. And it, I feel, for those people who get into penny roll hunting after the next few months, you're really gonna be missing this aspect of the hobby. And again, unless you get in touch with someone like me, and you're going to be paying a premium, because I don't want to give up my pennies, but there's going to be nowhere else to get them. Like, hey, these are from this person several years ago from this bank, and those are the penny rolls from some probably an older person, depending on, again, what type of penny wrapper it is. I hope you enjoyed the video. I like making content like this. Hopefully everyone's clicked like, subscribes, click the bell notification. You're going to get it. I do about 11 videos a day, one long and 10 shorts. The 10 shorts are kind of just for, people just like the short videos. I guess that's just the culture we're in now, where people are just flicking through. But every once in a while, I'll do a 20, 30-second short video, and I'll see something that I did not see on the coin during the first go through of the search during the long video. So yeah, every once in a while I do find a keeper there. So God bless, and I'll see you in episode. All right, let me double check. I'm like pretty sure this is episode 610. No. Oh, this is episode 611. So I made that mistake at the beginning when I said episode 610. So only the people who stood to the end can hear my weird revisional commentary. Most people check out after 10, 15 minutes. So we're at 22 minutes now. Only the hard subscribers and my members are still here. So this is episode 611, and I will see you in episode 612.